Hello, my Seven Wilds peeps. How's it going? I thought I would make a little video that updates everybody on what I've been working on. Since I haven't really been doing speed art videos or anything, I've also been out of town and I work full-time-ish with my wife at a restaurant, and I just haven't been posting anything lately that's game related really, just silly pictures on Instagram and stuff. So I've been doing some programming on the project so that I can choose how I want to move forward with art and stuff like that, because once you start working on something like this, you just find that it's all entangled in itself and you can't really do some things until you do other things, and that's just kind of the nature of the beast, I've learned. And it's really easy to get excited and want to just work on whatever, but if you do that, usually you have to go back and fix a bunch of stuff, or you make a lot more work for yourself. So what I've been working on right now is my inventory system. I think, one of the main foundations of any game, other than like strategy and stuff like that, most games, is a good inventory system. If you have a really crap inventory system, it's noticeable. Like, I really enjoyed playing DayZ back in the day, the mod for Arma, not the standalone so much, but the inventory sucked. Arma was a military simulator. It was great for what you were doing, but when you had to actually use it in like a survival RPG, it was just not so great. And it was buggy and stuff. Then you've got systems like Diablo where you can drag items and drop them in your inventory system, and that worked great. Or like Bethesda, they usually make a list and you can check things on the list and then it will equip on your person, and then there's so many different inventories you can do out there, and some are awesome and some suck, and if it sucks then it ruins the game, I think. But my point is that there's a million ways to do it, and I think that's a great foundation to start with as far as actual gameplay goes, because most of what I've done has been learning how to model in Blender and learning how to use those models from Blender in Unreal Engine, especially since Unreal Engine kind of tends to focus towards Maya and other bigger licenses for modeling software, and everything I use is open source except for my music stuff, and that music stuff is from independent projects I did as a musician before, so all those licenses, I don't really relate that to the game design. Everything I use for game design, it's all open source. I thought that would be a cool way to go, and if I can do it, I think that'd just be cool to say I made all of this with open source stuff, other than, even Unreal Engine itself is free until you start selling your game. Anyways, I think an inventory is really important, so that's why I haven't been posting anything lately, because I've been working really hard on getting something like that to work. I've done tutorials through Epic's YouTube. Their inventory system is cool, but it's kind of really basic. And inventory is hard to make because you have to communicate between so many different blueprints, usually, especially since this is a multiplayer game, and you have to know what to replicate and what not to replicate, and you could do tons of checks and make your game horribly laggy, or trying to optimize it as you go so you don't have to go back and fix a bunch of stuff in patches is important to me, because I'm alone in this with the programming aspect. My friend Jordan Stoddard has helped me with a lot of art, like he did the vitals for this game. My sister designed them and did the concept art, and then he polished them up and made them colored and really pretty. And then my sister does a ton of art too, and my wife does a ton of art. My wife does all these little flowers, and I did the grass. I do all the modeling, but a lot of the two-dimensional stuff and the concept art my sister and Jordan Stoddard make. And then there's things like this fire pit and stuff where I just pull it out of wherever and make it myself. And so like these little logs, simple stuff like that I just throw together. Or this little roundhouse, I just took images of medieval roundhouses and kind of made my own. Same with this little castle, Jaeger Keep. Jaeger's from my best friend Anthony Jaeger. I just took his last name because he's awesome and I wanted to make something in his name, so I tested making a building that was interior and exterior in one model and optimized. Anyways, for the most part though, I'm usually kind of just working on this alone, especially with the programming. So my point is, I've tried making so many different inventory systems from scratch, and I'm all self-taught with everything I've done from the modeling to the programming. So trying to make an inventory that is multiplayer with all these blueprints that communicate has been a little rough, and I've made 6 or 7 different kinds of inventories, and sometimes I really like them, but they kind of blow for multiplayer, or they don't work because I am learning. So I finally just kind of caved in and bought one from the marketplace that was made by Tefel. He's awesome. He does these crazy projects, super talented dude. He's been doing this Minecraft thing lately on here. And he's got a lot of good stuff on the Unreal marketplace. And the inventory system I bought is this multiplayer RPG inventory system. It's great. I think out of the box, I don't like using stuff out of the box. It's the only thing I've ever bought from the marketplace that I've ever used. So as far as pulling it into a project that I'm already fairly far on, he suggests to pull it in and then make childs of his classes and stuff. And I'm just too, it doesn't work for me, and I wanted to just kind of remake his thing. So I bought that. I've remade a lot of it, and then I only have a couple bugs left to work out, so I'm pretty close. The other issue is that the way he made it is for a third-person game where you run around but your mouse is usable, and mine is a third-person game, but my camera system and my mouse is actually set up like a first-person game, and that's how it's the direction my combat system is going that I stopped working on, but that I am in the process of. But with his, you can run around, and when you mouse over an object, it highlights yellow, and then text for that object appear above it. So if it was a helmet, it would glow yellow when you mouse over it, and it would say helmet, and then you can click it and pick it up. I had to do a lot of work to make it fit my game because I just don't run that way in my game. So you see a little white circle in the middle of the screen, and that is the crosshair to say, I guess. And when I drop an item, I don't mouse over it. You have to aim at it, which I mean is the same thing basically, but it doesn't highlight yellow yet. No text goes over it yet. That's stuff I'm working on, but I'm not really focused on that right now. And then instead of clicking it to pick it up, you look at it and hit F, which is my use key. And then you see these little red lines pop out. Those are line traces, which are mostly used for first-person shooters, so that when you aim at somebody, you shoot it, and then that little line will hit them, and if it hits them, it does damage, stuff like that. So even though it's a third-person game, I'm using that system so that the combat's a lot more interactive with having to aim and stuff. And so I've done some work. This is also artwork my sister's been working on for the inventory system. It's just the outline right now. She's doing texturing and stuff on it, and it looks amazing what she's coming up with. And I wanted to go for kind of more of a Diablo kind of feel, but then I set up the way the equipment equips, like Wind Waker or Breath of the Wild does, really, where you equipped your torso and that's the whole upper body, or you can equip your legs and that's the lower body. And that's another thing I've done where I have some default set, so if there's nothing in that slot, it goes back to you being naked basically, and that's something that there wasn't set up on Tefel's right away. So I've done a lot of work to modify it to fit my game, and that's the point of getting something from the marketplace. You shouldn't buy that from the marketplace and be like, okay, this is my game. I think it's important you still make it your own. But it was a great starting point for me, and I've learned a lot from Tefel by using his little loadout there, especially with replicating this stuff, because I don't think I've shown you guys the multiplayer actually working, but the legs are equipped and I can see them equipped, and that's one challenge that is fairly large on trying to make your own inventory, even though it seems silly. And you can see the other stuff equipped too. So this is what I've been doing since I haven't been posting, is I've been just working on this stuff, and it's going pretty well. I have a few bugs that are fairly small. Another thing that's an issue when I was making my own inventory from scratch is like following the Epics tutorial and stuff, is if you drop things, there's so many different replications and stuff that you have to do. Sometimes they don't show up depending on what you have messed up on. But so this is working great. I can pick it up as a client and drop it again, but these are where some of my bugs are coming in. That's an item from Tefel's default thing. I don't know why it shows that item. I gotta fix that. But But if the server does it all, it works fine. Those are the pants I was wearing. I can re-equip them, and this is some of the problems I'm having. But if it never left that player's inventory as a client, you have no problems with anything. It's something with when I drop them in the world, I'm having issues. Let's see, I just can switch back and forth. I haven't made defaults for this yet, so it's a little buggy. But yeah, as long as it stays in the player's inventory, it's fine. The second I throw it on the ground and try to pick it back up as a client, as a server it usually works just fine, but as a client, I'm going to try to equip this, it's going to disappear, boop, gone forever. Okay, whatever. Another thing I'm working on is decorations for the inventory. So you can equip a helmet like this, and then you could equip different visors for that helmet. So you don't have to have this visor. You could have a little bassinet visor or whatever. And then it'll have a second decoration. This is an orlay, or however you want to pronounce it. It's spelled like this, O-R-L-E. And you could do horns here. I probably won't do horns, but we'll see what players want. And you could equip a bunch of stuff. Even if it was like a hood, you could equip the hood and have like a little face mask in it or whatever. But yeah, this is why I've been gone. Things like this. This is why I haven't been posting speed art and stuff. I've just been trying to get this to work, and I have some issues. Oh my lord. But my main issues are these two. As the server, I haven't set the default for the hair, so I have to equip the helmet and unequip it first, because that's how I have the trigger set up. It works fine. I just have to change the trigger so that it saves what you've done in the character creation screen and carries over into the game. Also, we're playtesting from the world map. We didn't go through the character screen, so it's not going to show you what I've chosen. It's just putting the defaults on, and the default is that you're bald. So then I just have a trigger that it goes back and pulls from the save of what your hairstyle was after you've unequipped an item, as the other default is that saved variable for what I have chosen from the character creation screen. But I missed a bunch of triggers from not having my loading screen and all that stuff. That's a whole thing. Don't worry about that. And I've also got defaults set up that when I equipped a chest piece and unequipped it, I go back to having a naked chest. If before I did this, you would just unequip it and my character would go invisible on the torso. And then if I did the legs and unequipped it, the legs would disappear entirely and be invisible. Those are things that are fixed. That's nice. And if I started the game from the main menu and played all the way through to the main world that we're in right now, then you would see that I can choose my eye shape, my iris, my mouth, my eyebrows, and then my hairstyle, my skin tone. And if you're a different gender or whatever, I don't really have genders in this game, but you can choose an upper body torso that has bosoms and things like that. And it works just like a chest piece, like an armor piece, but it's the default. So you'd have bosoms up here, and then if you equipped a piece of armor over it, it would go over that, and then when you unequipped it, it would go back to you having your bra or whatever. And that's all at the main menu into the character creation screen, and then it carries over. And that's why the hair just popped in. I don't have a script or anything, I'm just talking to you guys because I haven't been posting and I want you to know what I'm up to. So this is a video update. This is my vlog, which I really don't like doing on my channel. I just like posting speed art with my music that I choose, and the musicians who let me use that are awesome. So thank you guys. But so as the server, I can do all this stuff and it works like I want. I can drop this chest piece and pick it up and equip it again, and it is there, and then I can equip these pants and drop them straight from the pants slot and pick them up and equip them again, and they're there, no problems. Helmet, I don't have a static mesh for that. These are skeletal meshes, so when I drop the helmet, since I don't have a static mesh for it, it's going to disappear because I haven't set that. Those are things I know how to fix, I just haven't done it yet. As the client, this is where the problems really come in. I equip a chest piece, great, it stays in my inventory, I can go back and forth as much as I want. I drop the chest piece, it's there, I can see it, and if there was another client here, not a server, they could see it too. As the server, I could pick it up, it's there. If I unequip mine and drop it and try to equip the one that the client gave me, it works. That's nice. I can drop them both and pick up my old one and equip it. That works. That's nice. This is as the server. If I go back to the client, okay, that's the chest piece that was dropped. Okay, it's in the inventory, and then I go to equip it, it's going to disappear. Boop, it's gone. So that's just a recap of that. These are my issues I'm having. I have a set slot issue, and I have this return node problem. If I go to these, I've been doing some hunting, but I think this list of slots, this array here, is not being populated correctly. Probably it started happening when I changed my equipment widget blueprint around to make the slots that I wanted. So I have to look at that. And then the other bug is this other array I'm having issues with. This is what happens. This is where I'm having a problem when the client drops an item into the world and picks it back up from the world and equips it and it disappears. It's something to do with this. This goes back to my container slot, and there's this get item thing right here, and this is, I think, where some of the problems are coming from, but when I've looked over it, it doesn't look like it's having any issue really. Yeah, that's what I've been up to. That's why I'm not posting stuff right now. I want to get this fixed, and once I get this fixed, I will be back to posting some speed art videos of new meshes and stuff I'm making. The reason I haven't been doing art on the side really is because until I got the inventory working, I don't want to make a bunch of models and then like make just gloves and just boots and then come to find out that I'm just going to have a piece of armor that equips the entire torso. It's a puzzle, so I gotta put the pieces together in the right order, or I end up just doing a lot more work and making a bunch of models that I might not use or have to adjust, or I'd rather just make them right the first time once I get some layouts. So that little suit of armor that I made in the name of my friend Nate is my layout. You can do an upper torso, legs, a headpiece, and then you can do a left and a right hand, and then these down here, there's going to be a quick bar. These down here are going to have a quick bar on the bottom of the screen, and these will be 1, 2, 3, and 4 on your keyboard to use a bandage or eat food or whatever. And then the vitals in the bottom right, this is what I was talking about Jordan Stoddard did down here. They're awesome. They're working well too, but that's another thing. I have to get the inventory working to really start playing with these more, because I don't have any items set up to use right now to check these vitals. But as far as the widget blueprints go, they're all set up to go. I just need to tap into them using items from the inventory system. This is why it's so important I get the inventory done before I start making foods and other fun speed art videos for the game, because it'll just be, I don't want to make a bunch of stuff and then find out it's not working and then have to do something completely different. And that vital system I was showing you, that's the stuff that my sister did the concept art for, and then Jordy did the main art. Anyways, I hope this wasn't too boring. I'm hitting 18 minutes. Oh my lord, 19 minutes almost. Thanks you guys for your patience. Thanks for watching. I'm Luke. This is 7 Wilds that I'm working on. Have a good day. Sorry I don't have a webcam or anything to show my face. I just don't care enough to show you who I am as much as focus on what the game looks like. There you go. Maybe I'll do it in the future. Have a good day, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.